You are asleep right now in this story. A voice in the room says out loud, 8 minus 6. And from inside your dream without waking up, your eyes move. Left, right, 2. You just answered a math problem while you were dreaming. In a sleep lab in 2021, a man did exactly that. Tonight is about the people who can wake up inside a dream, know that it's a dream, and steer it, and about the doorway scientists found that finally let them talk back. Last time, we ended on these people. The small number who step into a dream while it's still running, realize where they are, and take the wheel. Awake and asleep at the same time. It sounds invented. Science treated it that way for decades because nobody could prove it. How do you show that someone is awake inside a dream when their body is just lying there silent, going nowhere? By the end of tonight, you'll know how they cracked it, how often it can actually happen to you, and the unsettling thing that happens when that same door opens the wrong way. Start with the problem they had to solve. When you dream in REM sleep, your body is paralyzed, locked. You can't move a hand, can't speak, can't wave and say, "I'm in here." Your brain switches the body off so you don't act your dreams out. But there's one part the paralysis leaves alone: your eyes. When you look around inside a dream, your real eyeballs move too, behind the lids. So a researcher had an idea. What if a dreamer agreed, before falling asleep, on a signal? Not a twitch, a message. Look hard left, then hard right, then left, then right. That sweep gets traced out on the machine reading your eyes. A clean, deliberate spike anyone can see. A note punched out from inside a dream. In 1981 at Stanford, Stephen LaBerge published it. 5 practiced lucid dreamers fell asleep, became lucid, and sent that agreed-on eye signal while the monitors confirmed they were deep in REM. It was the first peer-reviewed proof that lucid dreaming is real, not a story people told about themselves, something you could record. LaBerge gets the credit. Here's the part you rarely hear. He wasn't first. 3 years earlier in 1975, a British researcher named Keith Hearn, working with a lucid dreamer named Alan Worsley at the University of Hull, caught that same left-right signal coming out of a sleeping man. The first message from inside a dream was sent in 1975. The world just didn't notice until LaBerge made it impossible to ignore. So what's actually happening in your head when you go lucid? You'd assume it's just an unusually vivid dream. It isn't. In 2009, a researcher named Ursula Voss put trained lucid dreamers under a 19-channel cap and watched. She found a brain caught between 2 states, dreaming, yes, but with a fast electrical rhythm, around 40 hertz, switching back on in the front of the brain. That front part matters. Your prefrontal cortex, the region that reflects, that knows who you are and where you are, normally goes quiet when you dream. That's why dreams feel insane from the inside, and you never question them. Voss called lucid dreaming a hybrid state with measurable differences from both waking and ordinary sleep. Part of your waking mind clicks back on while the rest of you keeps dreaming. You are, in a real measurable sense, in 2 places at once. 5 years later, in 2014, the same team tried to cause it. They ran a tiny current across the foreheads of ordinary sleepers, tuned near that 40 hertz rhythm. And those dreamers reported more self-awareness inside their dreams than the ones who got nothing. Be careful here, because this result gets oversold. They didn't flip a switch and guarantee lucid dreams. What rose were self-awareness ratings, not fully verified lucidity, but the direction held. A small jolt of electricity in the right place nudged a sleeping mind closer to waking up inside itself. Now make this about you. The odds are you've already done it. Pool every study together and roughly 55% of people have had at least one lucid dream in their life. That's a 2016 meta-analysis, 34 studies. More than half the people hearing this have, at least once, known they were dreaming. But having one is not the same as having them when you want. Only about 23% of people get a lucid dream as often as once a month. It can be trained, and the honest numbers are humble. In a 2017 Australian study, beginners who combined the best techniques reached a lucid dream about 17% of the time across a single week. Part of it is a daytime habit, stopping a few times a day to genuinely ask, am I dreaming right now? and checking. Looking at your hands. Reading a line of text twice to see if it stays still. The rest works at night, and it's almost dumb. You wake yourself about 5 hours in, stay up a few minutes, fix one sentence in your mind. Next time I'm dreaming, I'll remember that I'm dreaming. Then fall back asleep. Do that, and if you drop back off within 5 minutes, the success rate jumped to nearly 46%. Timing beat effort. It's not only self-report. In 2020, researchers took 20 people who had never done this, put them in a lab, and within 2 nights pushed 40% of them into a lucid dream they proved with that same LaBerge eye signal. Untrained novices, signaling out of a dream, on camera in 2 nights. Which brings us back to the man and the math problem. For 40 years, the eye signal was a one-way door. Out only. Messages came out of dreams. Nothing went in. Then in 2021, 4 separate sleep labs in America, Germany, France, and the Netherlands, working apart, all proved the same impossible thing. You can hold a conversation with a person who is asleep and dreaming in real time, both directions. Here's how it sounds. A man is asleep, deep in REM, deep in a dream. A researcher leans in and says out loud into the room, 8 minus 6. Inside the dream, he hears it, and he answers the only way he can. His eyes move. Left, right, 2. The researcher asks again the eyes. Left, right. He's solving arithmetic correctly from inside a dream he's still having. And it wasn't only spoken words. In Germany, the questions came as flashes of light. Morse code blinked into the dream. In France, as taps on the hand. And the dreaming brain just wove them into the story. One sleeper was sent 4 minus 0 in flashing light, and inside his dream, the question arrived dressed up as 4 plus 0, reskinned by the dream around him. He answered anyway. One of the sleepers afterward described what the experimenter's voice had sounded like from in there. Like the voice of a god, like a narrator in a movie, dropping into a dream party. Someone outside the world speaking into it. And here's the part that makes it true instead of just astonishing. It barely works. Across all those attempts, dreamers answered correctly only about 18% of the time. They got it wrong just 3% of the time, but 60% of the time, they simply didn't answer at all. The signal goes silent. Lucidity was reachable in only about a quarter of the sessions. The discovery isn't that we can chat with dreamers whenever we like. It's that the door exists at all, and that it cracks open for only a few seconds, for only a few people, before it swings shut. And even when you're through it, the dream rarely obeys. People who have lucid dreams report actually being able to control them only about a third of the time. Almost half of lucid dreams last under a minute. And for a lot of people, the very act of thinking, wait, this is a dream is enough to end it. The recognition itself snaps them awake. The steering wheel is real. It's just greased, and there's a cost to chasing it. In 2020, a sleep scientist named Dudik published a formal warning that training yourself to go lucid night after night may start to blur the line between what's real and what isn't. A blurring she ties to dissociation, and one she says isn't for everyone. And look at how you even get there. The most effective trick works by breaking your sleep on purpose, waking yourself in the dark every night to pry the door open. The third of your life you're supposed to spend recovering, spend instead forcing your way into the dream. There may be a reason the door is built to be so hard to hold. If a stranger's voice reaching into a sleeping mind and getting the right answer back is the kind of thing that keeps you awake at 3 a.m., this channel is built for you. Subscribe. That's the whole channel. Because here's what nobody tells you about that doorway. It doesn't only open in your favor. The same border state that lets you wake up inside a dream and steer it can drop you somewhere else entirely. You can wake up, get out of bed, walk to the kitchen, start your morning, and still be asleep. A false awakening. A dream of waking you can't tell from the real thing. Or you can surface part way and find your body still locked in a REM paralysis, awake now, aware, and completely unable to move, while something in the room leans over you. In 2021, a lab confirmed that during sleep paralysis, your brain isn't awake at all. It's still dreaming. Same doorway. It just opened the wrong way. That's where we go next.